guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm doing my first fall 2016 tutorial. Really excited about it. I have been dying to do this look for the past week or so, but I wanted to incorporate a product that I just knew I would be really inspired by if I got it, and so I went to Sephora this past weekend and finally picked it up, and it's the Bite Beauty Multi-Sticks. I've been seeing a lot about these on social media, and I was interested in two shades, Blondie and Wheat. I also like the shade Gelato, but I knew it wouldn't work for this fall look. But I ended up going with a shade called Blondie, and I based my entire look around this specific color. So everything is based off of really nice soft caramel hues, really soft brown colors, almond shades. Basically, this is a very soft brown makeup look. So I love the way it turned out. Everything is really wearable. Of course, I like to keep things wearable for you guys and achievable. So I guess that's all I have left to say, and if you guys are interested in getting this look or knowing how I achieved it, keep on watching. Alright, so I just moisturized with my Bare Minerals Prep Step, and I'm going to try out a new primer. I've actually been wanting to try this for a really long time. It's the Hangover RX by Too Faced. I just bought a mini one at Ulta a couple days ago. I saw that they had a smaller size, and I was like, why not? Been wanting to try it. So let me know what you guys think about this primer, because I feel like it's more of a lotion consistency. For foundation today, I have no clue why, but I had this weird calling to mix two products together, and they are the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer and the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. I really have no clue why I grabbed these two and thought, hey, I'm going to mix these today, but we're going to try it out. So I'm mainly going to use more tinted moisturizer, and I'm just going to do the slightest pump. I mean, like, I have a little dot of the Urban Decay All Nighter in there because this stuff is serious full coverage, and I really want this to be more of a, you know, more of a lightweight coverage look. So I'm just going to mix that around in my hand, dot it, and I'm going to buff it in with my beauty blender. So I actually love the way this looks right now. Does this not look really good? I mean, I feel like it looks good on camera, but I'm looking at it right now in the mirror and it looks really nice. If you have all-nighter and it's a little bit too full coverage, too matte for you, maybe try mixing it with like a tinted moisturizer you have, because this looks really nice. It feels a little bit better too on my skin than just applying the all-nighter. So woohoo, great idea, Shelby. Great idea on this one. So kind of in love with this foundation combination right now, I'm not gonna lie, really nice. So I'm gonna move on to concealer. I'm gonna use a concealer I've been testing out for the past probably week or so. It's the new Becca Aqua Luminous concealer, and I can definitely tell you guys that this concealer is more on the light coverage side. So if you're going into Sephora to purchase this or online and you're thinking it's gonna be medium full coverage, it's a little bit more on the lighter side in my opinion, but I'm going to mix the shades Fair and Light to get my perfect color, and I'm just going to use a few dots. Also, one thing about this concealer is the applicator does not pick up a lot of product. You kind of have to go in a couple times to get the product amount you're looking for, unless you just want a really light product application. And again, just going to use my beauty blender to press that into the skin. If the light keeps going in and out, I'm sorry. It's like really sunny out at one point and then it's gray outside, so I don't know what's going on with the weather today. So I'm just going to set the rest of my face with the e.l.f. HD powder. I got a package in from e.l.f. the other day and saw this in there and thought it looked a lot like my NARS light reflecting powder, so I've been anxious to try it. I'm just going to pick a little bit up on my MAC 137 brush and really lightly sweep that on my under eye area. I'm starting to become really wary about the amount of powder I use on my skin. I just feel like the more, unless I'm using a straight up like Bare Minerals powder foundation, that's the only time I feel like a lot of powder looks good on my skin. And so I'm starting to, you know, try to keep a lighter hand on applying powders because I just feel like they can make my face look so old and crepey. And I guess that's just like coming with age. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, you're only 23, quit complaining, you know, but that's how I feel. That's just how I feel, people. So I don't really want a precise contour for this look because it's not really what we're going for. But I'm going to use a little bit of my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer on my MAC 135 brush, I think. I've said in several videos that I use this brush so much. I've had it for like a year, but the number's already worn off of it. But I always say MAC 135. It may not be 135, but I always list it down below. But this is a really good brush to do, you know, just some light definition. It's not going to give you like an extreme contour unless you focus your brush this way. But as long as you keep your brush more horizontal, it gives a really nice light application. So I'm just going to use that side and I'm just going to sweep a little bit of product through my jawline just to give some slight definition. And of course, to add a little bit of warmth back into my skin, I'm going to take my MAC Gimme Sun powder and use that on my same 137 brush. And I just like to lightly go over areas that I want to give a little bit more warmth to. So this is the product that actually inspired me to do this look, and it is the Bite Multi-Stick in the shade called Blondie. I was really torn between three colors. I wanted Blondie, Wheat, and Gelato, but just for this particular look, I felt like Blondie would work a little bit better. So I think I'm going to use this on my cheeks as well as my eyes. I was planning on only using this on my eyes, but I think I want to try a little bit on my cheeks. I'm not really sure what the best way to apply these are, but I've just taken a little bit on the back of my hand. That's the shade. It's so pretty. It's such a universal color. And I'm just actually going to take my regular blush brush. This is the Target Up and Up brush. And I'm just going to apply it straight from the brush, I guess, and we'll see how it goes. I actually think I like this. It's not removing my concealer or my foundation or powder. A lot of the times cream blushes have a tendency to do that. But this seems really natural. It's definitely more of a subtle color, but I was expecting that, especially for my face. On my eyes though, I think it'll be a little bit more apparent, but this is actually applying really nicely, really smooth. And I'm just going to take my beauty blender and make sure that is all pressed into my skin. Really nice color. It seems just like a great everyday natural color, especially if you do already like cream products for your eyes, cheeks, and lips, things of that nature. For highlighter, I'm just going to take the Lorac Light Source highlighter in the shade Daylight. I haven't used this in a while, so this is more of like a golden shimmer, and I'm just going to place that on the tops of my cheekbones. I don't want this to be an overly highlighted look. Again, I want to keep everything pretty minimal. Alright, so I've already filled in my brows and done one eye. This is going to be the easiest eye look ever, I promise you guys. So I'm going to take that Bite Beauty Multi-Stick in Blondie, and I'm using that on a Zoeva concealer buffer, but we're going to use it for the eyes today. This actually was the perfect brush to apply this cream product, and surprisingly this does dry down to more of like a powder finish, so really nice for the eyes, but it's still, you can still see I have a little bit of like a sheen going through my eyes from where this is a cream product. I'm making no sense right now. It does dry down, but you still have like kind of a cool cream effect. So I'm just going to start buffing this all over my lid, and essentially you're just going to work this color all the way up almost to your brow bone. Literally you're just going to apply it all over the eye, and it's just going to act as a base and also transition shade, because we're only going to apply one more color to it just to make it a little bit more dramatic. And yeah, that's all we're going to do. It's pretty easy. So now that we have that down, I'm just going to take a little bit of these two shades from the Urban Decay Ultimate Basics palette. They are called Faith and Lockout, and I'm just going to pick those up on my Zoeva Luxe Petite crease brush, and I'm just going to give some definition to the outer corner of my eye, just because this is a pretty flat color if you don't have anything added to it. So I definitely wanted to go in and add some extra definition. So I'm just mixing those two brown shades together and just buffing them in on that outer portion. I'm not really going to take it into my crease. I just want it to be on the outer portion of my eye. For eyeliner, I'm using my all-time favorite, which is MAC's Teddy Eye Kohl, and I'm just going to tight line my upper and lower lash line. I'm only going to tight line the lower portion of my eye halfway, just because I want my eyes to look a little bit more rounded. And then I'm just going to take the excess color on my pencil brush. Actually, I may just pick up a little bit more color, mix those two brown shades together, and I'm just going to buff out my lower lash line. Ow. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of mascara. Doesn't really matter what mascara you use. I'm using the Maybelline Colossal Volume Express. And then I'm going to apply the Ardell Double Wispies, except mine are pretty much cut in half just so they'll fit my eye shape. And that will be it for the eyes. Last but not least, we're going to move into lips, and I'm using MAC's Strip Down Lip Liner with one of the new Lip Tensity lipsticks coming out September 20th, and this is in the shade Toast and Butter, or is it Bread and Butter? Toast and Butter. Alright guys, so that is it for this look. I hope you enjoyed the products and the talk through. If you have any questions about anything I used, feel free to leave those down below, and I guess I will see y'all in my next video. Oh, my next video I believe is going to be the how I did my makeup in high school tag, or whatever that video is going around. I've had several of you guys snap me on Snapchat and tell me you wanted to see that, so I think I may do that video tomorrow, and hopefully I can have it up by Thursday or Friday this week. So look forward to that, and yeah, that is it for the video. I will see y'all in my next one. Bye.